I never thought I'd be that man, the one who missed all the signs, the one people whisper about with pity in their eyes. But here I am, piecing together 5 years of betrayal I didn't even know existed until it slammed into me like a freight train. My wife, Rachel, and I had been married for 12 years. We met in college, me, a quiet finance major, and her, a magnetic theater student who lit up every room she entered. She was intense, passionate, a little chaotic, but she loved me, or so I thought. We built a life together, a modest house in the suburbs, 2 golden retrievers. Even talked about having kids, though she always said, "Not yet, there's still time." I trusted her, completely, blindly. Maybe she worked in PR, long hours, unpredictable clients, lots of travel. I used to admire her dedication. Now I realize it was the perfect alibi. It started unraveling on a random Tuesday. I got home early from work. Rain had canceled a client meeting. And when I walked into house, I found her laptop open on the dining table. Normally, Rachel was very private with her devices, passwords on everything. But that day it was open and a message flashed across the screen. "Can't wait to see you next weekend. Counting the days. M." At first, I assumed it was a client. She had dozens of them. But my gut twisted. Something was off. I clicked the message thread. There were hundreds of them, stretching back years. Some were innocuous, inside jokes, restaurant plans, complaints about work. But others... I still remember the first time you kissed me in that hotel room in Chicago. I wish I could wake up next to you every morning instead of him. I hate pretending, but we're too deep now. The first message was dated 5 years ago. 5 years. A third of our marriage. His name was Marcus. A client at first, then a friend, then something much more. He was married, too. They kept it secret together, 2 liars in sync. They met during her business trips, had burner phones, even shared a private email account under a fake name. And I never suspected a thing. I wanted to confront her immediately, but I needed the truth. I dug deeper. Phone records, credit card statements, calendar entries. Every breadcrumb confirmed the same thing. Rachel had built a second life, one that existed entirely in the shadows of ours. When I finally confronted her, she didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. "I didn't mean for it to last this long," she said. "But it did, and I couldn't stop. I still loved you. I just needed more. Needed more." As if love was a buffet line, and I wasn't enough to fill her plate. I filed for divorce the next week. Clean break. No kids. She moved in with Marcus 6 months later. They didn't last. People say time heals. Maybe it does. But even now, I lie awake sometimes wondering how someone can look you in the eye every day for 5 years and lie so easily, so beautifully. The hardest part isn't the betrayal. It's realizing the person you loved never truly existed. Want a twist or revenge ending? I can revise or continue the story however you like. Just let me know. They didn't last. That's what I heard. Anyway, a mutual friend, someone who hadn't taken sides, mentioned Rachel and Marcus split within a year. Apparently, real life wasn't as exciting as stolen hotel nights and whispered phone calls. Reality has a way of killing fantasy. Bills, dishes, morning breath, and no one left alive but each other. But by then, I had stopped caring. Or at least I thought I had. It's strange. When someone betrays you like that, part of you doesn't just break. It disappears. You start questioning everything. Was any of it real? Did she ever love me? Or was I just a safe choice, the placeholder while she lived her secret life? I tried dating again. A few first dates. One lasted a couple months. But I couldn't get past the small things. Her phone lighting up at dinner. A delayed response to a text. I had become suspicious by default. Guarded. I hated that. I hated that Rachel had done that to me. But something shifted a few months ago. It started when I received a letter in the mail. Not an email. A real handwritten letter. The handwriting was unmistakable. "Rachel." I stared at the envelope for 10 minutes before opening it. "You don't owe me anything. You probably hate me, and maybe I deserve that. But I want you to know that not everything was a lie. I did love you. I just was too selfish to see what I had. Marcus, and I ended things. It wasn't love, it was escape. You were the real thing. I just didn't know how to stay in something real without ruining it. I hope one day you'll forgive me, not for me, but for you, because you didn't deserve what I did to you. Rachel, I read it twice. Then I burned it. I didn't do it out of anger. I did it because I needed to let go. Forgiveness isn't about letting someone off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from the weight they put on you. And I was tired of carrying her around like a ghost in my chest. A week later, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I booked a solo trip. Scotland, my dream since college. Hiking through the Highlands, sipping whiskey by the fire, writing again. I'd stopped writing after the affair, just lost the will. But up there, among the foggy cliffs and echoing silence, I started again. Not about her, not about pain, about healing, about rediscovery, about starting over without forgetting who you were. And slowly, I began to feel whole again. Funny thing is, betrayal doesn't kill you. It just carves you open so you can rebuild from the inside out. Stronger, sharper, wiser. Rachel was my past, but I was finally my future. Want an epilogue where he meets someone new, or Rachel tries to come back? Let me know. Happy to expand the story in any direction. It was late autumn when I returned from Scotland. The leaves back home had just started to fall, blanketing the sidewalks in gold and rust. I felt different, lighter, somehow, not healed completely, but healing. There's a difference. I started going to this local coffee shop down the block. It had a quiet charm, brick walls, old jazz on vinyl, and a tiny bookshelf with secondhand novels. It was the kind of place Rachel would have hated. Too quiet, too still. I loved it. That's where I met her. Her name was Claire. She was sitting alone at the window, sketching in a small leather-bound notebook. I wasn't looking for anything, just coffee, but something about her felt peaceful, like silence you actually want to be around. It took a few weeks, some shared smiles, small talk about books and weather. One day, she asked me what I was always writing, trying to make sense of things. I said. She nodded. Aren't we all? We started seeing more of each other. Slow, no pressure. Just two people who had been through things and decided not to rush. She told me about her divorce. No infidelity, just two people who stopped growing in the same direction. There was no bitterness in her voice, just acceptance. That honesty was refreshing. I didn't tell her everything about Rachel at first, not because I was hiding it, but because I didn't want her to find me anymore. And when I finally did, she just listened. No judgment, no pity, just that calm way she had of holding space. One night, I asked her if she believed in second chances. She smiled, only for the people who know what they cost. We weren't in love yet, not the way movies show it, but something was building, something honest, steady. One evening, I passed by a bookstore and saw a familiar face through the window. Rachel, alone, browsing the memoir section. For a second, our eyes met. She looked tired. Not broken, just faded, like a photograph left out in the sun. She gave me a faint nod. I nodded back. Nothing more. That was our closure. No words. No drama. Just two people who used to be something, now strangers with a shared history. I turned and walked away. Claire was waiting for me at the cafe, 2 coffees in hand, and that same peaceful smile. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was running from the past. I was walking towards something new, something real. Would you like to see this turned into a short film script or a visual prompt of Claire and the coffee shop? Months passed. Life didn't explode into some dramatic new chapter. It unfolded slowly, like a page turning in a quiet room. I kept writing. Not about Rachel. Not even about betrayal. Just life. Things that mattered. Small truths. Claire and I took a road trip in the spring. No destination, just open roads, cheap motels, and conversations that stretched late into the night. There was laughter, vulnerability, even silence that didn't need filling. One morning, I woke up before her, sunlight coming through the curtains, her hair spilling over the pillow. She looked at peace, and for the first time in a long time. So did I. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need Rachel to regret everything or come crawling back with apologies. I had found something more valuable than retribution. Clarity, freedom, peace. I had survived the storm, walked through the wreckage, and somehow found myself again on the other side. And that was the real ending. Not heartbreak, not bitterness, but healing, and a quiet, beautiful beginning